Back here in Phoenix where the Suns have taken game one. LeBron James taking note, 1 down, 3 to go. That's math. That's the way the finals work. Banana boat forever.
You're watching Game Time at the Finals.
Let's get to Monty Williams after the win.
11 points in the first half for Chris. He really got it rolling in the third quarter. Is there anything, the way he plays, that is a sign to you that, okay, he's about to go into his bag? He has a run coming.
I can't answer that one with, there's no marker for me. There's just, when it's going like that, you just want to space the floor well and let him orchestrate. I thought he was making the right plays. They were switching a ton, and we have to offer that space and play faster if he gets off of the ball, but he was making shots. And when he's in that mode, we just feed off of that, but I don't have a marker or a segment in the game where I'm like, here he goes. It just happens, and our guys feed off of those moments in the game.
Right in front, Dwayne.
Yeah, Coach, you talked about getting easy ones, and obviously the Bucks play sound half-court D. You think you guys got 20 fast break points.
Yeah.
What was the key to that tonight, you feel?
Getting stops and DA rebounding the ball. I mean, he had 17 defensive boards, and that allows for us to get out and run. And I thought our guys were intentional about making plays for someone else, even if you didn't get the ball by running the floor. The floor was spaced, and so we were able to attack the paint or play hit ahead. They're a good defensive team, so anytime you can get easy buckets, it really helps you.
Ramona in the middle.
Hi, Monty. Ramona Shelburne, ESPN. You've had Chris early in his career, now towards the end of his career here. And then I remember in the first round you kept saying he has a look, like you guys have looks and you read him. I'm just wondering, how he's changed and evolved? Like, if his looks now, have they changed from when he was back in New Orleans at the beginning of his career and just sort of his own career evolution?
I'm not. Back then, I was probably more forceful with calling plays. Now, he'll read the game, I'll watch him, he'll turn to me, and I'll be like, you call it. Or he'll be like, Coach, give me something, and then I'll be like, well, do this, that kind of thing, as opposed to me trying to run the whole deal. We always talk about the package of plays that we want to run in certain segments of the game. So we'll have 2 or 3 plays, and he'll stay in that environment for a bit. But ever so often, he'll look over to me, and he'll squint, and I'll know he's wanting to play, and then I'll call it. Before, it was just me like, run this, run this, run this. Now, I try my best to stay out of his way because I know what he's seeing. And usually when he calls a play that I didn't give him, it's a play I wanted to run anyway. So I think that's the relationship that we've built over, being together twice and being in this situation with him. I think there's a trust there, and I think that helps.
So just to be clear, is it squint? The look is a squint?
It might be. They make fun of me because I squint with my glasses on. But he squints also. And so when he looks over and squints, I know he's wanting to play. And I try to give him something that takes advantage of the guys we have on the floor. Mm-hmm.
Back right.
Monty over here. You mentioned that the Bucks were switching a lot. They were switching a lot even in the first half with Brook Lopez on the floor. Were you expecting them to play that way defensively as much as they did? And did you have a specific plan to attack that?
We didn't know. I mean, they did a number of things versus Atlanta. But in their last game, they did switch a lot more. So they're the kind of team that you have to prepare for both. And so we didn't know. We just were waiting to see what it was. And we just tried to, space the floor as best we can off of the switches.
Palmer for a couple on Zoom.
First, we'll go to Cameron Cox with 12 News, followed by Mark Schwartz.
Hey, Coach, what did you make of Cam Johnson's performance tonight?
I thought he was great. His ability to space the floor and shoot the ball is what you tend to think about with Cam, but I thought his defense was really good tonight. You know, he's a big, strong defender, and he has the ability to move his feet and keep guys in front. At 6'9", to move his feet like that, you know, there's times when Giannis is coming at you full speed. There's really no answer for that except to, you know, take the hit and try to keep him from getting to the basket. I thought he had some really good possessions tonight on that side of the ball. And then his ability to score, space the floor, attack the basket. He's just a really good player.
Next is Mark Short.
All right, here's how it went down tonight. All the speculation before the game about whether Giannis Antetokounmpo looked fit to play. He was, and he went. Chris Paul, 16 years he waited for his first taste of the NBA Finals. Scoreless in the first for him. Here's Devin Booker, who had 12 to get it going in his first taste of the Finals on 3 of 6 shooting. Here's Giannis.
Well, I like that move, Isaiah. One dribble hard, get to the rim, and then a little bully ball from Giannis on this play.
And he had 8 in the first quarter. Second quarter, Suns get it going. Shaq, how about this debut for DeAndre Ayton?
Listen, he played well. He's running the floor. He's rebounding. He's catching lobs. And look, he's a guy that you don't really even go to. So he's a great role player right now. But I'm so proud of this young guy from the Bahamas. I know his family. I know he has a whole nation behind him. And he's dominating. Had some tough matchups early on. But, stood to the challenge, played well. As Giannis gets the block right there. And listen, this guy's playing great.
Curious about Giannis's health? There's your answer. Pretty explosive there on that chase down block. What an incredible play. Suns up by 8 at the half. That was their biggest lead of the first half, and then the switching continues. Lopez caught here and slides under Paul. It's a flagrant one and a CP 4-point play for Chris Paul. Paul would stick around. Ayton with the loose ball, throws that down. And they're excited. Then Paul off the dribble.
Got him.
Kenny just took over in the third.
Looking like Isaiah Thomas out there.
Yeah, his ability to score on a pick and roll and isolation was incredible. You know, Middleton was still good this game, but wasn't great, but he was good enough to keep him in it for a long time.
He loves that third quarter. He had 11 in the third, finished with 29, 7 boards, and 4 assists on the night. And they're kind of hanging around. Fourth quarter, they would get it to within 7. Giannis with the offensive board, and it's 101-94. He had 20 and 17, but the Suns finished things off pretty. Booker had been a little quiet the second half, knocks down the 3. CP and 1. He had 32 and 9 assists in his finals debut. And then it's Paul doing what he does best, setting folks up. In this case, DeAndre Ayton, the Bucks just completely left him on that defensive miscue. He had 22 and 19. First player with 15 points and 15 boards or more in a finals debut since Tim Duncan. And the Phoenix Suns win Game 1. They move to 4-0 in Game 1s this postseason, and there are no more Game 1s ahead. This is it. This is the last one. So they're going to finish perfect in that regard, and 7-2 on their home floor. Kenny, what can be applied to Game 2 from tonight's Game 1 in terms of tweaks for strategy that Milwaukee can use?
Well, if I was a layman and I was watching the game, it looks like I would compare it to getting dressed as you were leaving the house. That's what the Milwaukee Bucks look like. You can get it done, but it's not going to look great. You're not going to be neat. You're not going to have everything in order. They were running out the house getting dressed with Giannis coming back. They didn't have a cohesive look on the defensive end, didn't change things up. Offensively, they looked at times haphazardly. The tie was crooked, Zeke. You know, hey, Smitty, the handkerchief wasn't right. It was all there, but it didn't look good.
Hey, Kenny, you asked me what would I average, and I said 35. That's what I would 40. Average. Now, if I got hot, then it's an easy 50.
Kenny, we've been we've been great friends for a long time, but that analogy just made me sick to my stomach. I got to get me some tongue.
There it is. There it is.
Man, the Bills was getting dressed running out the house, man. You can get it done, but you ain't going to look good.
Product placement number one here in the postgame show. Mike Budenholzer's going to be asked and scrutinized about the switching a lot. Is it as simple as playing small moving forward or playing big differently with Lopez or Portis, whoever it might be?
It's adjustments. Also listen to your players, what they want to do sometimes. Obviously, you see things, but obviously you have some players in Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, and Brook Lopez and Giannis. These are some veterans. Go ask them what they think is best. Do they want to switch? Do they want to trap? Do they want to hedge? And obviously come out there and make some adjustments. And even if that don't work, you don't just continuously give them the same look in that third quarter if they're knocking down shots. You have to be able to adjust on the fly.
And hey, Smitty, I would have, Akeem, I would have smacked me in the locker room. He would have, I would have had to fight him.
Yes.
If I left him on the island like that, and he had to guard a guy, he would have been. We'd have been fighting. Or Otis Thorpe. I can only imagine Bill Laimbeer and those guys, Rodman and those guys. They would.
Hey,
I think you fight. They want to fight you.
That would be in the locker room, but during the game, during the game, right? And then they would have went to Chuck, and they'd have made Chuck change up that defensive assignment. I mean, and Smitty, you talked about guard play, and I'll just say this. The guards in the NBA right now, particularly the point guards that we're talking about, the Trae Youngs, the Kyrie Irvings, the Chris Pauls, you cannot let them play in the middle of the floor against a center, against a big, for a length of time of the game. I mean, that's a point guard's dream. We want to stay in the middle of the floor. And if we can dominate and stay in the middle of the floor, then we're just going to eat your lunch.
Yeah, the Suns really thrived, obviously, picking on Lopez and Portis. Lopez had the worst plus-minus of any Buck out on the floor. And I don't know that you can pin all that on him. It's the way they were covering the Suns tonight. And obviously an adjustment will have to be made on the Bucks side. Let's get it back downstairs. And it's Drew Holiday at the microphone with the Bucks down 0-1.